Hi, welcome back. I'm Pina Giovannitti, Behaviour Consultant with Children's Inclusion Support Services. Today, I'm going to talk to you about empathetic responses and how this strategy can reduce challenging behaviors in your program. So what is empathy? And why is it so important? Empathy is the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes. It's important because if we are able to understand another person's perspective, it allows us to be more caring and sensitive to their needs. Can you think of any opportunities you've had to practice empathy recently with your children? What did that look like? Do you think that child felt validated and understood? How do you think an empathetic response might affect the behaviors of a child experiencing big emotions? As educators, empathy is a skill we work tirelessly to instill in children from a very young age. We want them to share, to be gentle with others, to be nice, and to apologize. Because how would you feel if someone did that to you? But, as Mary Gordon says, empathy is caught, not taught. Empathy is a skill that develops over a lifetime, and as adults, we are responsible for setting the foundation for empathy by showing empathy. In order for a child to develop empathy, they need to experience it. With that in mind, I'd like to tell you a story. I walked into a preschool program. The group was getting ready to go outside. One child, a young boy, was sitting motionless next to his snow pants and coat. And he was crying. The educator, while managing all the children, was saying to him, "Come on now, get dressed. You can do it. You always get dressed by yourself." The boy continued to cry. I watched this scene for a few moments. Then I asked the educator if I could step in to try something, and she said, "Yeah, go ahead." I approached this young boy and said, "It looks like you're feeling sad. I see you have tears in your eyes." He kind of looked at me, so I continued. "Is it difficult for you to put on your snow pants today? Can I help you?" He shook his head back and forth, indicating no. Then I asked, "Is there a problem with your snow pants?" He nodded his head up and down, indicating yes. So I persisted. What's wrong with your snow pants?" I was surprised by what came next. He replied, "My mommy washed them and they're not hot anymore." To make sure I understood, I repeated back to him, "Oh, so you're saying your mom washed the snow pants and you believe they're not going to keep you warm anymore?" He nodded his head up and down. "Oh, I see that. Well, did your mom put them in the dryer?" He nodded his head. "Okay," I said, "so then, you don't know this, but dryers are giant toasters. They put the hot back in the snow pants." He looked up at me and almost immediately started to get dressed. Are you sure I can't help you?" I asked. "No, I can do this all by myself." Then he was in line with the other kids, ready to go outside. This child was experiencing big emotions and needed to know that someone could meet their needs. This child felt that in that moment, their problem mattered to someone else. The adult was curious and took the time to help them find solutions to their problem because that adult understood that they were going through something. Throughout our daily interactions with children, there are a myriad of opportunities for us to practice empathy. That said, sometimes our capacity for being aware of and sensitive to others' needs can be clouded by competing priorities. For example, dressing time and transitions. Other times, we may be deeply sensitive to the feelings, thoughts, and experiences of a child, but be unsure of how to express that empathy. By interpreting what children communicate physically and verbally, we are able to empathize with them, to validate, label, show concern for, and reassure them that those needs can be met. In order to truly be empathetic towards a child who is experiencing big emotions, we need to step out of judgment and into understanding, to be curious about what that child is experiencing and why. Children face many stressors that trigger big emotions that can get in the way of children performing a skill already learned. For example, dressing, sharing, saying goodbye, or waiting for a long time. It's important to allow children to safely experience a whole range of emotions, such as anger, sadness, frustration, excitement, fear, worry, jealousy, and happiness. While it can be uncomfortable to empathize with some of these emotions, these feelings are all natural, and children need to be invited to feel them safely without judgment in order to learn how to express them appropriately. When we provide children with empathetic responses that validate their feelings, wants, and needs, we are providing them with opportunities for communication and skill development, such as problem solving and conflict resolution. Remember to validate and acknowledge accomplishments and joyful moments too. So, to get you started, here are 3 key techniques to providing an empathetic response. Number 1, empathize. Be with the child. Approach the child calmly. Provide proximity support. Get to the child's level. Be sensitive to the feelings, wants, and needs being expressed. Mirror the child's emotions. For example, if a child is clenching their jaw and fists, expressing anger, you may reflect that back by saying, "You are clenching your jaw and fists. It looks like you're angry." Similarly, when a child is sad or withdrawn, we will match their energy. Be genuine. Number 2, validate. Listen to what the child is communicating. Label the experience and use you statements. For example, you feel frustrated that you couldn't get your turn. Or describe the situation, saying, "You like playing outside. It's hard when it's time to go inside." Don't forget to give children the time and space to process their emotions. And number 3, reassure. Provide comfort. Consider whether the child likes to be held or needs space. Normalize their experience. Let them know it's okay to feel this way. Relate what they're going through to your own personal experience. For example, "I feel that way sometimes." Or relate to their experience to a well-known character or story that the child admires. Empathetic responses reduce challenging behaviors because children's stress levels decrease when they know they can count on an adult to understand them. When we communicate to a child that we will support them through any problem, like putting on their snow pants, emotion or need, we are helping children to make sense of stresses they face. So remember, empathize with your children, validate their experiences, and reassure them. Until next time.